In this video, I want to talk about the syllabus, kind of like what we would do on the first day of a class. So all of this is in the Lalima site, which I'll show you how to navigate that in the next video. But the basics. My office is in the E building on the West Oahu campus in room 217. Because of COVID and whatnot, my schedule's a little bit more unpredictable. So, best way to reach me is email. Phone, I mean, if it's an emergency, or you're just a phone kind of person, I'll try to accommodate you, but email really is the best way to do it. Only because unless you're like a prophet or a sorceress or something where you know what I'm doing all the time, you would have no idea whether my mind is in that space to be able to reply to you. Whereas when I reply to email, I'm not just like shooting things off here. I'm in a work mode. This course, 3 credits. And as many of you know, this course is asynchronous, which means that you can proceed through the material at the pace you are comfortable with, within some limits. But because it's asynchronous, that means that there are no required lecture times. I will be providing lectures. It's just that you don't have to attend. There's nothing to attend live. So as I said, for office hours, there's nothing, we can, if there's enough requests for it, I can create a standing Zoom meeting if anyone wants to have a standing Zoom meeting every week that could kind of serve as office hours. It's just that I have found typically no one ever comes, and then it makes me feel sad about myself that no one loves me, and it wastes your time too, because, right, I mean, what are the chances that you're going to have an emergency or have some event happen when office hours are about to happen? I'm available. I really am. I really truly am. And you just have to email me or call me, and we can absolutely talk about the course material. Okay. Then we've got the course catalog description. I did not write it, and in my opinion, it's not written very well. And then I describe to you what I think the course is all about in a little bit better way, I think. We've then got learning outcomes. My relationship to learning outcomes is mixed. There are these people in this university system, any university system, not just ours, but in any university system where assessment is important and measuring student outcomes for success is important. And I don't doubt that. I just, I'm not sure we can measure everything either. But what I do think is useful about these learning outcomes, and these are 4 things I think would be useful and notable to remember after this course is done, and would make you feel like you got your tuition dollars value. So that you can't just say, oh, I took Econ 131, supply and demand, right, dude? No, it's a little bit more complicated than that. And this is the 4 statements of that complication. Then I see a typo here. There's no Bloomberg certifications. I'll need to fix this here. But we are doing homework assignments. We're doing 3 exams, and you'll notice that the 3rd exam is comprehensive, meaning it covers everything since the beginning. And then we have analysis papers, which I'll talk about more. The analysis papers, there'll be 12 of them throughout the semester. The reason why we're doing analysis papers is, in some classes we do like discussion boards, forum boards. I just have generally not found those to be very useful because everyone replies at the last minute and no one really cares what so and so thinks about something else. I mean, really, truly, like, we don't. So, what the analysis papers are designed to do is I select a news article for you. You follow a pretty set standard um, outline of what you need to do, and then you turn it into me and I grade it. You don't have to worry about anyone else. You don't have to keep logging in. It's pretty straightforward. For the assignments, these are going to be done in the publisher's the publisher's website. These are questions that I have selected, that I've worked through, that I think are important and useful for doing the exam. And then for the exam, these are both multiple choice questions as well as some short answer questions. And again, keep in mind that the third exam is comprehensive. I cannot emphasize that enough. Third exam, comprehensive. The book. We are using Mancu's macroeconomics book. It's a pretty standard textbook, and that homework system is called MindTap. So those two things are the required materials for this course. You can go out there and try to buy it if you want to, but honestly, the cheapest way to buy it would just be doing the IDAP thing, which many of you are pretty familiar with already. If you're not, send me an email and I can explain it a bit more. But basically, by signing up for the course, you're going to be automatically billed $116.40, which kind of sucks because it's actually a pretty big chunk of like your tuition dollars. Listen, I'm well aware of that, and I don't make any money off of it. With COVID, it's just unfortunate because for those of you who've had me for in-person classes, you would know I do things typically a little bit differently. But unfortunately, we just need a bit more of a rigorous technological solution to carry out a online course. And so this is what we have. That's really the best thing. You don't, the bookstore using IDAP, that's your one option. It's the easiest. It means you don't have to do anything at all. But you can decline to charge and just buy it out on your own. So that's another option. We'll be using La Lima, which all of you should be familiar with. We'll be using MindTap, which is with the textbook readings, the homework assignments, and the exams. And then finally, we'll be using Google Classroom for the analysis papers. And I'll talk about Google Classroom a little bit more too. Then we've got our 3 important dates. August 31st, last chance to get all your money back. September 14th, you can get half your money back. And then November 1st, last day to withdraw from the course. Classroom policies. This is a pretty boilerplate classroom policy. Let me explain why this is the case. Why I do it, as opposed to why I think others do it. The classroom policy is pretty simple. I've tried to give everyone enough liberty and freedom, flexibility. We only have 3 deadlines. That's all there is this entire semester. And so all I'm asking is that you honor those 3 deadlines. If you don't, 1, it's a real pain in the ass to adjust deadlines for an individual student. 2, kind of being unfair to everyone else in the class, and it is my job to sort of enforce that fairness. And so as a result, if you ask for an extension, generally speaking, I try to put myself in the shoes of some other student in class and whether they would want the same accommodation. um, would they deserve it, right? So if you say like big bad car accident, you know, um, I don't know, joined a religion that forbids me from studying economics Mondays through Fridays, so all I can do is study it Saturdays and Sundays. And today is my birthday, which I didn't know about beforehand because there was a smudge on my birth certificate, and all of a sudden I realized that my birthday was in fact a different day, the day that everything is due, and I don't like to work on my birthday. Well, if you got great reasons like that, I might buy it. Because, dude, if you had a smudge on your birth certificate and all of a sudden you discovered that it was that day, I mean, that's pretty monumental because you would have celebrated 18, 19, or 20 birthdays on the wrong day. So you should get to celebrate your first real birthday, like have a blowout. And I don't have any problem giving you an extension then. Where I have a problem giving you an extension is you didn't manage your time well. Or something suddenly came up, or things like that, things that you honestly could have planned for ahead of time. Learning challenges and accommodations. um, my simplest statement of this would be, you likely, as an individual, are aware if you have these learning challenges and accommodations, and I would encourage you to talk to the ADA 504 coordinator as soon as possible to arrange for those accommodations. I, on a personal level, can't do anything. Um, I just take direction from the coordinator. That's the way it works. The Noelle Center, um, that would be where you go for tutoring. We do have tutors that specialize in economics and have taken economics from me. So if you feel you need that help, and you want a referral to a specific tutor, send me an email and I'll get you that person's name. Non-discrimination. Um, we, especially in this class, but also just in the broader UHWO the UHWO community, we um, don't permit sex or gender-based discrimination. We don't permit harassment. Um, there are people certainly smarter than smarter than me about what constitutes discrimination, what constitutes harassment. But generally speaking, most of us should know it when we see it and should know it when we're doing it. Um, so I would encourage you to be aware of that. Um, Not only in this class, but in all your dealings. Don't send emails out of anger. Don't send emails when you're drunk. Don't call people up and that don't want to be called by you. And those are just some very simple examples. That doesn't even cover the behavior that's discussed in the second paragraph. Um, if you want to talk about these kinds of things, um, you would be encouraged to talk to the Title IX coordinator. Sorry. You'd be encouraged to talk to the Title IX coordinator, whose email address is there. And if you're too nervous to do that on your own, you can reach out to me first and I'll provide you the virtual introduction. But don't let that stop you from talking to the expert on campus about these kinds of things. And I know I kind of it sounds like I'm kind of out of my environment here, um, but I mean I just to put it out there. I mean I've had students who have had this happen in other courses or just in their personal life. And, sometimes it's just helpful to talk to someone who's not at all involved in the situation, and just to give you frank advice, or, give you that referral. And I'm certainly more than willing to refer you. Then we have a code of conduct. That code of conduct is right here, and you should read it. Honestly, I am not a student. Academic honesty. It's a little bit tough in a class like this where, it's online and we think of things like, oh, I'll just Google the question on the exam to get the right answer, or I will, have a ringer take the class for me that I hired off of Craigslist. All things that have happened that I've seen happen. Just know that things like that are taken care of, meaning that they're reported and then the campus reaches out to that person. In general, I'm well aware that when you take an exam, it's not closed book, and I don't treat my exams as closed book exams. You shouldn't have a ringer, and I'll know pretty easily whether something is your writing style or not. I've been teaching this is my 16th year of teaching, so I've seen quite a bit in my days. Just be honest. Do your own work. Let the chips fall where they may. Just be honest. It's unfortunate when this happens, and it happens at least once a year with someone in one of my classes, and plagiarism, cheating, all these kinds of things do typically result in failing the class. There's our grading scale, which all of you are probably concerned about. There's our grading weights again. Analysis papers 15%, homework assignments 15%, so that total is 30%. Then you've got 70% of the course based on the exams. And then we finish up this discussion with the schedule. So again, I'm trying to give you, I know a lot of people structure online classes where there's week by week deadlines. I personally I don't like that. I don't like it because it's just, we all have things going on, right? I mean, we all have things where we can intensely do something at one point and then not the other. By having common deadlines like I do here, 3 deadlines, it's hard to forget those 3 deadlines. You work towards those 3 deadlines, and you can pace your work out over time. Your homework assignments are automatically graded. If you want me to grade an analysis paper before it's due, happily we'll do it and give you the feedback. The exam is only going to be open one day, and it's going to be open on September 20th. You're going to take the exam 1 on September 20th. You're going to take exam 2 on October 25th. And you're going to take the third exam, the final exam, on December 3rd. All the other stuff, the homework assignments and the analysis papers for each of these parts of the course, you're going to be working now on that up until September 20th. You don't want to do it all September 20th. Pace yourself. So here we go, right? So then you would start working on the material August 23rd. And what I try to do here, as I say right here, what follows is a suggestion of how you might want to work through the material on a weekly basis. So in general, if we were having this class in person, I think that we'd spend about a week of class time talking about these 2 chapters. Now, if the first week you don't want to do anything at all, I guess that's your right. It really truly is. But then you're going to get to week 2, and generally in class we'd cover chapters 3 and 9. But you could also say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to still do nothing. Well, now your week 3 and 4 is going to be really rough. And if you do nothing in week 3 and very little in week 4, then you're going to have a very bad 4th week. You get where I'm going with this? You need to pace yourself. You don't need to be doing something every day. You don't even technically need to do something every week, but I would encourage you to do that. At the same time, I'm not your father. I'm not your brother. You need to manage your schedule like that. If you can already tell this is not the right class for you because of that structure, talk to me now, right? Don't make yourself be someone who you aren't and who you don't think you can be. So if you know you want the structure imposed by the professor and you want weekly lectures, I guarantee you will be unhappy in this course with the structure. And there are other options. All you need to do is email me. We'll have a phone call and we'll figure out what the other sections are that would work for you for this course. This is the way I do it. It's just how I think students learn best and get the most out of an online class. Dude, other people obviously do it very differently than me. 1,000 flowers bloom. So first part of this course, we're just going to work on kind of introductory stuff about like what is economics. If you've had Econ 130 with me before, you should have a pretty easy first third of this course. You can work ahead as far as you want, but you'll have to wait until September 20th to take the exam. The exam will be available starting at midnight, and you must complete it by 11:59. So you have a 24-hour time period. Well, technically 23 hours and 59 minutes. Then we've got part 2 of the course, covering chapters 10, 11, 15, 12, and 13. These are the classic elements of macroeconomics. October 25th would be our deadline again for the second part of the course. And then the third part of the course, we're going to talk about fiscal policy, monetary system, and all that's going to be due December 3rd. Okay, so that gives you an overview now of the syllabus. In the remaining videos that I'm going to make, I'm going to talk about the homework system, how to navigate La Lima,